Hey there, how you doing? Charlie Winters here with horse racing selections for Saturday, the 28th of December. Well, it was a cracking start to the day on Friday, and that was it. Nothing else happened. Absolute garbage, zero return. The four that I fancied in the Lucky 15, I think they was all unplaced. Starfighter, well, you couldn't see anything for the mist. Not like they'd have ran any better if I had have done, but yeah, very disappointing. So, yeah, let's get on to Saturday's selections. So I do waste time in saying that. I do like the look of these. So let me get into it. So I've picked six selections. I'm having a 10 pence each way, lucky 63, which is £12.60. And then I'm going to put them on as each way singles to make it to round it up to £20 exactly. So let me get into it. I'm not going to hang around. So the first selection is Yorkstone. I've left the price in the 3.45 at Southwell, paying four places instead of three. I think this horse is a well handicapped horse that's ridden by Joanna Mason for the Easterbies. So this horse disappointed last time, but it definitely didn't want the trip. It was 6 furlongs. It's not a 6 furlong horse. It's a 7 furlongs to a mile horse. I think the form of last season, I can never say this horse, Swayliana, whatever it's called, at Southwell is good enough to put this horse right up there. Its penultimate start was absolutely fine. It pressed the leaders and was only beaten towards the business end of the race. It faded late on. However, like I said, its most previous run was over an inadequate 6 furlong. I think it was Newcastle that it didn't want. So it's back over its trip at Southwell, and I think it's got a cracking chance. The second selection is Tor Availi. I've left the price, but it's currently 13-2 in the 5 past 12 at Newbury, paying four places instead of three. So in this selection, it's ridden by Isabel Williams. It's not a jockey that I back that often, and it's also not an angle where it's won its last two and I back one each way. But I do believe there will be an awful lot of pace in the race. There are a number of wind operations second time round. I'm not seeing the improvement. I think this horse it won't track a fast pace, but it will be held up off a fast pace. And I believe, hopefully, the pace can collapse and she'll come through once again. She's done well. It's been held up at Hereford, and it was in touch, lost place, and then stayed on again at Hereford. And then most recently, it won at Ludlow, being held up. It could be quite tough at times at Ludlow because it's a very speed favouring track. So I think that it's done well to get in front from off the pace. And I think this fast pace at Newbury could automatically just tow the horse into the race. It's in good form, but obviously with it being in good form and winning, you're going up the handicap. But if it hadn't won, its last couple, it wouldn't have been able to get into the race anyway. So yeah, it's basically being penalised for its progression, but that's what happens. So yeah, Tor Availi in the 5 past 12 at Newbury, four places instead of three. Third selection is one of the more interesting ones because I've actually even watched the race. I've actually tipped the winner in that race. I think it was called something like Cap Vert. I think we backed at something like 18s originally, but it went down to about 12s. So this in limbo at 14-1, I've left the price in the 12.37 at Newbury. It's got right up there, or it is right up there with the best form in the race. There is little form to go on, but it achieved a racing post rating of 108. Well, I think the favourite, unless it's highly regarded for this race, is massively vulnerable. Don't get me wrong, this is a more galloping track that the favourite won on last time, but it only achieved a rating of something like 90, I think it was. But now it's got a penalty. So this horse came, I think it was fourth. It also was beaten not too far by Duranson, which is 125 hurdle handicapper. There is another form line in this race with Duranson, but it's on the National Flat, and that's the horse that's trained by Paul Nichols in the race, which originally was my selection up until I clicked on this one. So in limbo was travelling powerfully throughout. It was just a bit of tap for pace at the business end of the race. It will come on massively for the run, I believe, and it's a strong traveller for a horse that probably wants a bit further. But I do like the look of it. I think it's got a good chance. So it's in limbo at 14-1 in the 12:37 at Newbury. I do think that don't get me wrong, you can get plenty of horses that win first time over hurdles, but I just think that experience counts for so much, especially when push comes to shove, with like 3 to jump. The next selection is Get a Lead at 12-1, but I've left the price in the 145 at Newbury, paying 4 places instead of 3. Excuse me 1 second. Sorry. So Get a Lead. It's not particularly handicapped to win this race. However, I believe there's an awful lot of horses in this race that have been in okay form, but there's a number of horses that are in okay form and a number of horses that are completely out of form. But those in form, I believe an awful lot of them are handicapped right up to their best. Get a Lead always seems to run its race. I think it'll race prominently, and I do believe it'll be hard to kick out the first 4. It's got a £7 claim run, and I just think it's got a chance. The next selection is Surrey Quest at 5-1. I've left the price in the 220 at Newbury, paying 4 places instead of 3. So this horse was never put in the race at Cheltenham when it finished behind the unfortunately ill-fated A Buffalo Soldier. It came absolutely sprinting up that hill as though it had just joined in at the last fence. I'm hopefully it'll be given a more of a chance this time around, especially as it's only 5-1. But I think it's got a realistic chance, and obviously with it, it's one of the shorter prices, so really we need it winning. And the final selection is Beat the Edge. I've left the price, but it's currently 4-1 with Skybet in the 12:25 at Catterick. Mickey Hammond won this race last year. This horse used to be trained by Tim Easterby. It's plummeted in the ratings. It's now off something like 79. It ran its first race for Mickey Hammond. It ran well. This horse has ran well in the past at Catterick. I like the fact that Mickey Hammond won this race last year. It's currently the second. Well, it was the second favourite. I think it's currently now the third favourite. I think it's like 11-8, 7-2. Then you've got this Beat the Edge at 4-1. There's only 8 runners, but realistically, I think it's got a good chance of winning. So I'm not too worried about the 8 runners, but obviously it helps if I've got 3 places. But it's another horse, realistically, that we need to win. So those are all the selections for Saturday. There are no football selections. The football selections will be on Sunday, the 29th, when it's a full fixture list. So those are the 6 selections. I wish you the very best of luck. Charlie Winters, over and out. Cheers, mate.